Hi beautifuls, welcome back to my channel. My name is Elena. As you can tell by the title, I have been to the gender clinic officially for the third time for appointments, but I was diagnosed back in 2012, if there's any new subscribers. And it went extremely good. I'm going to give you the heads up. I got approved for hormones. They're writing to my doctor, and that should come within about 3 to 4 weeks. They're starting me off on estrogen for about 3 months. Then I have to have a blood test to see if my estrogen, because they need to see if I'm getting enough estrogen in my body before they prescribe the testosterone blockers, and for me to have loads of hair removal, loads of things. It just went off so lovely, and that art. Dr. Nick Austin, he remembered me, and he says that he's dead proud of how far I've come and basically what I've achieved. We discussed fertility, and I told him, I says, I'm not going down that lane. And I've told him, he says, you've dyed your hair, Wolfie, and I says, yeah. I says, I've dyed my hair quite a couple of times, and I told him many years ago I've been a shit ton of colours, and I'm just trying to find the colour I know I'm going to stick with. As you can tell, I've dyed my hair red. I don't know if it's going to stay because it feels me, but it doesn't. So I'm going to be on hormones by March, which I thought would happen, and it's going to happen. I'm so happy. I couldn't stop smiling when he basically was asking me, because I don't know how different it's going to be for you, but I would have had my appointment in December, but it got cancelled because he went on holiday. But the thing is, when you go for your appointment, I think you definitely for your third appointment, they require a blood test and proof of documentation. I only needed to bring one, which was my certificates, which I've basically given them. And then we started about fertility, family, and we discussed a lot about my brother, about how he's not really supportive, and a whole bunch of mess of what's going off with him and that art, and how things have changed, and how I'm dealing with things physically and stuff and that lot. And he's very happy with my progress. My blood test results, I told him, I says, the woman told me, she says there's nothing to be concerned about. And he says, yeah, he says your blood tests are completely fine. He says you're very healthy. And I'm going to be starting hormones pretty soon, so I'm dead proud of that. And there's not really much to say. There's big changes to come. You might see a couple of videos where my hair is different colours, even though I'm growing it out and that lot. But the thing is, personally, for me, I don't think I'm a brunette. Fashion colours I've done years ago, and I don't think that's me either. I think I'm going to most probably end up going back to blonde and just staying there. And I also went to my sister's after the gender clinic, and we discussed a lot of stuff about me going on hormones, and she was like, what's going to happen and that, and I explained to her. And she says to me, she says, I know exactly what kind of girl you're going to be. She says you're going to be a very girly. And she says, because she knows I am very girly, and it's so true. It's so true. There's bigger and better things to come for the future. I hope you guys are ready for the journey, because it's going to be a ride. All that now that is to do is just the waiting for my letter. If you guys want to see an entire video dedicated basically to the gender clinic, let me know in the description box, and I'll try and make that video for you. But that's mainly it, roughly. My letter is going to come in the next couple of weeks, and when I get, like I told you, when I get that letter, I will ring up my doctors, get my prescription, and then I will record a video saying I got my hormones, which will be my estrogen. They're also sending me, the gender clinic, with the letter, an appointment for 3 months time, because they want to see me every 3 months to check my progress. And the thing with estrogen is, before your blood test, because he explained to me, you have to have, because I'm on 1 milligram of estrogen and I have to take 2 a day, they have to be 12 hours apart. And he told me, he says, when it comes to your blood test, he says, if you miss 1 or 2 of your pills, he says, cancel your appointment, do it for the following week, he says, and catch up on, basically, just catch up on your hormones. He says, but make sure you take your pills. He says, and when it comes to taking your pill for estrogen, he says, on the day, he says, try and make your appointment for your blood test in the morning, he says, and take your pill after, he says, because when you miss your estrogen, he says, it fluctuates down, so you get a low reading. He says, but when you take it before your blood test, it says you get a high reading of estrogen. So I've absorbed that information, so there's a lot to basically cover. And he told me, he says, you'll have to do breast screen and that, like, for breast growth. He says, and when the 3 months is up, he says, they will do a medication review, see if my dose needs going up or it can stay at it is. And that, he says, also he says it's not a lot of trans people, their testosterone levels can just plummet to nothing, and it's just estrogen, he says, but it's different for people. He says, so each person's different. He also asked me, he says, does big breasts grow in your family? And I says, yeah. I says, there's only one person that's got small breasts, which is my auntie Shirley. And he says, hopefully you take after your family's genes for breast growth and curviness, which I think is going to happen anyway. So, and he told me, he says, I know the answer to this. He says, but do you want vocal training? And I said, I don't need it, I already have a feminine voice. And he says, yeah. He says, you do. So there's that. Like I says, hormones are here. I've just got to do just a little bit more waiting. But like I told, because he told me, he says, you've been waiting for this for a long time, he says, and he says, your gender identity hasn't changed. He says, it's more, he says it's not gotten worse. So he says, it was bad in the first place. He said, when I first seen you, when I'm talking about downstairs, because I tend to cringe. And he told me, he says that he says, as soon as I seen you, he says, straight away, he says, when you started explaining stuff as well, he says, I could tell you basically was a woman, basically a trans woman, straight away. He says, you don't need vocal training. He says, what about surgery? I says, that for me, I says, I want it. I says, more than anything. I says, but I'm going to push it a little bit aside until I've been on hormones for a while. He says, perfectly understandable. And like he told me, he says, I can see you having a bit of an identity crisis when it comes to your hair. And I told him, I says, I just need to do a little bit more searching. So I think for me, the next colour I will be going is blonde. And I think I'll most probably end up staying there for a long time, because blonde has always been me, but I wanted to explore a whole other world. And I've been quite a few colours this year, and I don't feel like they're me anymore. Oh, and I officially round brushed my hair with a hairdryer yesterday, and these are amazing. I love my new round brushes. But that's it, beautifuls. Stay tuned for my next video, which will either be a haul or... Okay, hang on. And it'll be my gender clinic letters. Basically, I've got my hormones. So bye, guys.